no one really likes to admit that it's a lifetime achievement. It took me this long to get here. But, it's really, really quite wonderful and in a way, very unexpected. I mean, I'm not trying to be maudlin about it, but that's Canal Street, and at the far end of that is where I started out. So that I went from one end of Canal Street to the other. It took me a whole lifetime, but it was worth it.
The 20th year of the ISC Gala, and so every year for the last 20 years we picked a sculptor to recognize that has really had an impact on the world, on other sculptors, has made a real difference in terms of other sculptors' careers, and has really just been a very important sculptor.
My husband was very close to Frank. He really admired him.
He's a genius that keeps on developing.
I'm thrilled that he's being recognized as a sculptor as well as a painter. He's probably the most painterly sculptor I know, but it's still wonderful that his work in 3 dimensions is getting attention.
I really actually don't know much else. This is where I came because it's where where art is made for the most part, and where you can see the most art. When you're a young artist, you come here because you can see what everybody else is doing. And people forget when they talk about galleries and things like that, but galleries are free, and the artists show their work regularly, and you can see what everybody's doing when they do it.
I've been a friend of Frank's for about 40-some years, worked with him for about 35 years, and this man over here has been chronicling our events ever since.
And I'm at the Whitney Museum, and been a long fan of Frank's from actually my first days at Walker Art Center, and then eventually up at Andover at the Addison Gallery, where Frank went to school and had his early experience. And I had the great pleasure and joy of spending some time watching Ken Tyler work with Frank over many years.
I think you have to give a genius an awful lot of latitude, and I don't know that many people that really I can say without a doubt are geniuses, but I feel like Frank is one of them. And I worked with Truman Capote and Tennessee Williams and a lot of other people that I would put in that category.
You compare it with other artists who are maybe more popular, maybe better known. Frank's work stands out head and shoulders above them all.
For me, Frank Stella's work symbolizes freedom of expression, and I think that's what's most important for me when I look at his sculpture.
And what Frank Stella did was change the whole course of painting. One, he stopped representing anything. He painted very flat. There were no signs of brushstrokes, and he concentrated truly on making squares and triangles and round circles, the design that he worked with absolutely no color. And this was so groundbreaking, such a shock, and yet everybody picked up on it. It was a time for abstract expressionism to end.
They're raising the glass to a man who's just devoted his life to this stuff and actually, prevailed year after year after year in, and sets an example for all of us, I suppose.
The only confession I can make is that, I'm kind of boring in that way. I really think about work almost all the time.